The lobster this year has been fantastic. If you can get your hands on some great lobster tails with a handful of other ingredients, in 25 minutes, I'll show you how to make a beautiful lobster pasta dinner. Let's get started. Start by putting your pot onto the stove and adding fresh, clean water. Add 1 seafood bouillon cube to the water and let it boil. Time to chop up our vegetables. So I diced 4 cremini mushrooms and then 2 cloves of garlic and 1 full head of white onion as finely as possible. Set your vegetables aside for a minute. Now let's deal with the lobster tail. Crack it right down the middle, just like that, and remove the inside flesh from the shell. Don't discard the shell because we're going to use the shell in 2 different ways. We're going to season the sauce with the shell. We're also going to season the broth that the pasta is going to cook in with shells as well. I don't like to chop up the lobster meat too fine because I don't want it to melt away. So I chop it up into pretty chunky sized pieces, just like this. Add 4 cubes of butter to a skillet that's on medium to high, right in between. You don't want the butter to burn. Once it's all melted, add your cremini mushrooms, your garlic, and your onions and saute for 3 to 5 minutes. You should see your onions wilting down. Now add your lemon thyme or regular thyme, and then it's time to add the lobster shells, or at least half of them. The lobster shells give a subtle additional flavor to this mixture. Time to add some salt and of course some pepper. Let that simmer away for another few minutes until all the flavors have melted together. It starts to smell delicious in the kitchen. Since I've already added butter to the sauce, I don't like adding cream. I prefer to add a little bit of milk so that it keeps the sauce just a smidge lighter. So at this point, add a little bit of milk and all the flavors will infuse into the milk, just like that. Take half the lobster shells and put them into the water that has a seafood bouillon cube. And once it's boiling, add in your pasta. Time to add in the lobster meat into our pasta sauce. And doesn't that look delicious? It poaches in just 3 to 5 minutes. Add in some freshly chopped up parsley and a little bit of paprika for color and for a depth of flavor. Time to add a little flour slurry to thicken up the sauce. I add a little bit at a time and let it cook for 2 to 3 minutes to see if it's come to the thickness that I want. If it hasn't, then it's time to add a little bit more until it comes to the thickness that you're looking for. Don't be rushed with this step. Take your time. It might take 5 to 10 minutes. Now it's time to add that cooked pasta right into the sauce. The pasta should be al dente because it's going to absorb some of the flavors of that sauce and continue to cook for a few more minutes until you're ready to plate. Once it's simmered for 3 to 5 minutes, it's time to plate. And this is such a delicious meal for really a fraction of the cost that you would pay at a restaurant. Subscribe for more great, interesting, innovative ideas. I look forward to seeing you soon. Lobster is not an everyday dish, but when you do get to have it, it's good to have it decadent. And that is so delicious. I hope you try this recipe at least once. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button. Like this dish if you've tried it and enjoy it. See you soon.